24 hours ago, I was in Southern California. It was beautiful out there. The sun was shining. But I sensed a lot of trepidation, a lot of angst because I wasn't in the house. I wasn't in the studio. They told me CC, as in Chris Canty, was going to be in the house. They told me Sergeant Friday, a.k.a. Jeff Saturday, was going to be in the house. And they said, yo, Stephen A., what you going to do? You going to be in the house with them? You going to be in the house with them? And I said, you know what? If I didn't show up, they would lie and try to imply that I'm scared when in reality what the real emotion was going to be was they were going to miss me. Needless to say, my girl Shay, I know how she feels. So I said, yo, I got to be in the house. It's first take. Where else is there to be? College boy.
Obviously, things didn't start off great for us. Got in a 14-point hole early, and we just kept battling, kept fighting.
Picked off. Devin Lloyd down the sideline. Pick six. A minute 48 to go. Andy Reid's team down 3. Hunt in for the touchdown.
I thought this was a great opportunity to show everybody what kind of team we are.
First and goal with 30 seconds left. Lawrence goes down, has to get up. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown Jacksonville. Jaguars win it.
They'll be partying in Duval County tonight.
Indeed they were. Hello, happy Tuesday, everyone. Stephen A. already started the introductions, but we'll do it one more time here on First Take. I am Shay Cornetti, is Chris Canty, Jeff Saturday, Sergeant Friday, I believe it was. I like that, too.
Don't
that nickname.
It's the only critical word that I'm allowed to say to Jeff Saturday today because my sister Carmen is home watching.
Yes.
She loves old Blue Eyes.
Yes.
As she does.
Thank
She
you,
loves
Carmen.
herself. She loves herself.
At least we
Jeff
got one
Saturday.
intelligent one in the family.
That's
We're great.
where we got to go. That's where we got to go.
Well,
All
let's
right,
be
let's
real.
go.
It's hard to argue with Jeff Saturday when you look in his eyes. It's hard to argue with him.
But let me tell you who's going to try their best. These two today here on First Take. Let's go to what happened last night, because in a week where we had a lot of teams have their coming out party, Jacksonville, a little late to the party, but they came out, that's for certain. So last night, the Jags got the best of the Chiefs thanks to a pick six off Patrick Mahomes. Last-second improbable touchdown by Trevor Lawrence. And with the win, the Jags matched their win total from last season, and the Chiefs fall to below 500. Here's Patrick Mahomes on the loss.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it sucks. You know, you let a game slip away. Credit to them. They played hard. They played hard the entire game, and we got to be better. You know, we've lost too many games already, and so we got to find a way to be better as a team and come together and play better throughout the rest of the season.
Now, that's for certain. Look, with last night's loss, I mentioned the Chiefs are under 500, but it's at the latest point in the season since starting 3-4 in 2021. A year ago, they did not go to the Super Bowl. That year, 2021, they didn't go to the Super Bowl. Last night was the Chiefs' third loss this season in a one-score game after going 11-0 in one-score games just a year ago. And so, look, we knew the Jags were coming, right? They had started out really good so far this season. The Chiefs look to be better the last couple of weeks, but does last night, Stephen A., say more about the Jags and where they're at, or the Chiefs and their problems?
Well, for me personally, when I think about it, I like to say I think it says more about the Jags and how they're coming up because it was Monday night. It was a big stage for them. And we know what Patrick Mahomes can do. When Kansas City took the lead, we weren't surprised. We see that Rashee Rice is going to be on the way back. Okay, you know Xavier Worthy's already there. Kelsey's already there. Hollywood Brown's already there. Okay, you look at Thornton, there's got to pay attention to him. You see the requisite weapons that Kansas City has at its disposal, and you're anticipating that things are going to be on the come up. Meanwhile, you see the Chargers having tailed off a little bit. Broncos making some noise. The Raiders are just garbage right now. We get all of that. So you expect Kansas City to be in the mix. And you were wondering coming into this game whether or not Trevor Lawrence was going to step up and handle the big stage. You know they've got some weapons, but in the same breath, you got some cats that haven't been necessarily reliable, like Thomas and others. But then you look at him coming into the game and you're saying to yourself, his completion percentage wasn't that great. Receivers needing to step up. These question marks about Jacksonville coming into this game, particularly with the number of changes that they made in the offseason. Were you going to step up and answer the call on your home turf in Jacksonville on Monday Night Football with Patrick Mahomes on the opposite side of the field? Usually that the possession is in his hands, you know, and he's willing to dictate, and he's going to dictate it, and it's a nightmare. Damn, Patrick Mahomes got the ball. But it was Trevor Lawrence's turn last night. and he answered the call. And you got to give credit where credit is due. And that's why I say this was more about the Jaguars last night in terms of what I'm paying attention to, because the Chiefs I'm not really worried about. I wanted to see what the Jaguars was going to do.
So are you saying you trust Trevor Lawrence?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm saying that he's elevated. He's elevated himself. We needed to see that from him last night to have a reason to believe in him based off of what we've seen the last couple of years.
I hear you, because I still got questions about Trevor Lawrence, which means I got questions about the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is why I think last night's game tells me more about the Kansas City Chiefs. The fact that your staple over the better part of this decade has been the defensive side of the ball, and they allowed for 21 unanswered points. And at the end of the game, Harrison Butker has the gaff, kicking the ball out of bounds, gifting them the ball on the minus 40-yard line. And then your defense allows the Jacksonville Jaguars to drive 60 yards for the game-winning score. That's an absolute embarrassment. We already know that the Chiefs have some issues on the offensive side of the ball, right? They can't run the football. 4 of the 5 games that they've played, they've had a non-running back lead the team in rushing. That ain't great.
Yeah.
They're relying on too much of Patrick Mahomes trying to be special with the off-schedule plays. And even though he did show some of that last night, that is not something that's going to be able to be sustainable. And so I guess my issue with the Kansas City Chiefs now, because everybody has said that Kansas City's going to be fine when Xavier Worthy gets back, Kansas City's going to be fine when Rashee Rice gets back, I think we have to acknowledge that this version of the Kansas City Chiefs is not like versions of the Kansas City Chiefs that we've seen in past years.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same thing. I think it's the Chiefs, and Shea brought it up in the beginning. 11-0 last year in one-score games, 0-3 this year. And if you think about the problems they're having, it's their best players. Like Chris Jones against the Chargers, right? He goes inside on the last play. Herbert gets outside. They end up losing that game. You have Kelsey, hits him in the hands in Philadelphia. Ball pops up, interception, goes the other way. Last night, Mahomes, and basically put the nail in the coffin. Interception, pick six, goes all the way back to the house. These are all their best players. Butker kicking the ball out of bounds. These are all the guys that you've depended on for the last 4 and 5 years and who have continued to show up week in and week out. I'm bullish, like with Stephen A. on the offense. They will get that part back. I am concerned from the defensive side with Spags that they don't, because that is how that's their calling card, is closing teams out. The offense walked off with a 4-point lead.
Yeah.
Like those are usually closeouts, right? Those are moments of closeouts. Spags' defense gets after it, and I get like the throw that Lawrence makes on the right side to Thomas is absolutely insane, right? Dropping the bread, a catch and the throw are magnificent. But the Jags, the Jags should have never been at 14-0. You thought that game was going to be over. Mm-hmm. They were resilient. They fought their way back. But my question for the Chiefs is, we're not measuring them on the playoffs. Mm-hmm. We're measuring them on winning the Super Bowl. That's the difference. Like everybody else is measured on, can the Jags hit the playoffs? Can somebody else? But the Chiefs they either win the Super Bowl or it's a failed season. That's a tough measuring stick year in and year out.
This is what drives me crazy about you two. This is what drives me crazy. Listen, I defer to y'all. I'm brilliant because I know I'm not. Okay, but this is what drives me crazy about y'all. So we're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who won 4 games last year.
Right.
They already have 4 wins this year. We're looking at them leading the league in turnovers, in forced turnovers. Think about that right now. We're looking at them on Monday Night Football against Patrick Mahomes. Okay, what week is this? Week 5? We're really going to sit up here and make a big deal about what we're seeing from Kansas City in week 5? This is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, think about this. When you talk about a Rashee Rice, a Hollywood Brown, a Travis Kelsey, all of these cats, they haven't been on the field together as Kansas City Chiefs yet. Not one time.
Right.
And so ultimately you're anticipating, okay, what's going to happen when that happens? Because we know what Andy Reid can do. We know what Patrick Mahomes